Hey everybody, Paul Che here, and in this video I'm going to be naming off my top 10 servants of Fate Grand Order North American servers of 2018. It really is hard to believe that 2018 is over, and I might as well knock out this list before 2019 approaches. Before we begin, I want to say that Jalter and Merlin are exclusively omitted from this list because I'll bet you millions of people are going to have Jalter and Merlin in the top 10s. That's not to say I don't like him. In fact, I do have both of them, but I want a list that does not include them. Please keep in mind that the servants in this list are not ranked or are in any special order. They are organized in their chronological appearance in the game, and I also want to point out that if your favorite servant is not on this list, please don't get offended or upset. This is simply my opinion, and you don't have to agree with them. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 1 is Void Shiki or Saber Shiki. Let's get one thing out of the way. In terms of gameplay, she is not top tier servant. Her skill sets don't work in many situations since her specialty is insta-kill. Insta-kill does not work on bosses, and it rarely connects against enemy service. Unfortunately, she is only useful against farming low-level bronze tier enemies. Despite her flaws, she is one of my favorites simply because of her lore, her origin, her direct connection to Akasha, the root of all existence, and the fact that she comes from another Type Moon franchise I love, which is the Garden of Sinners movie series. Overall, I wish DW gave her a different and better skill set / playstyle, but no matter, I do appreciate that she is featured in Fate Grand Order. Number 2 is Nero Bride. She is amazing both as an offensive art saber and as a support. She is one of the rare few hybrid offensive support servants in the game, and she does a phenomenal job at it. Currently, she is my top saber servant, and unfortunately her days being at the top are numbered, with Musashi slowly creeping around the corner. Nevertheless, her character and her playstyle is still one of my favorites and will continue into 2019. Number 3 is Shuten Doji. There are 3 things what makes her one of my favorite. 1, her character design is amazing and very sexy. 2, she is voiced by Yuki Aoi. It's literally her speaking in ASMR tone. And number 3, her face and her hairstyle is literally modeled after Yuki Aoi. Shuten Doji is Yuki Aoi, and Yuki Aoi is one of my favorite voice actresses of all time. Gameplay wise, she is not the best, but she's not bad. Her main playstyle seems to be that of a debuffer, which really doesn't work in all situations. Regardless, she's fun to use, and hearing Shuten, aka Yuki Aoi, speak brings chill to my spine. Number 4, Mama Raikou. She is illustrated by the same artist who made Shuten Doji, and Mama Raikou is a crazy yandere-like woman who just wants to be someone's mama, which in itself is quite hilarious. She and Ku Alter are arguably the best berserkers in the game. Ku specializes in survivability and long drawn-out battles, while Mama Raikou is one of the best, if not the best farmer in the game. Her buster crit capabilities are absolutely disgusting, plus she has a skill that deals extra damage to a boatload of servants and enemies. Her skill set makes her potential damage output reach to insanely high levels. I do have her at MP 5 or Noble Phantasm level 5, and having her is invaluable and has made farming so much easier for me. I do look forward to her Summer Lancer version next year. Number 5 is Saber Lancelot, or Papa Lancelot like some people like to call him. I don't really need to explain his lore from Arthurian legend because we all know his fate. What makes him one of my favorite is his playstyle of being an arts crit servant and his amazing skill set that augments his playstyle. He can generate boatloads of stars, deal insanely high critical damage, and has the potential to MP spam over and over again. The only downside is that he has no defensive capability, which puts him at a disadvantage in certain situations. Saber Lancelot is currently the best arts crit servant in the NA servers, and being able to take advantage of his role has made him one of my favorite servants of 2018. Number 6 is Bedivere. After completing the Camelot Singularity, I have gained so much more respect for Bedivere as a character. Not only is his lore awesome, but he is actually a pretty good 3-star saber in general. He has a single target buster MP that does a lot of damage for a 3-star. On top of this, his overcharge effect increases his buster performance, which further increases the damage output of his Noble Phantasm. His lore and his storyline in his Camelot Singularity is one massive spoiler, so for the sake of keeping things hush-hush and for those who haven't beaten Camelot, I'll let you have the pleasure of beating this really good chapter of Fate Grand Order. Trust me, once you beat Camelot, you'll understand why he's one of my favorites. Number 7 is Ishtar. Ishtar really needs no introduction. Let's all be honest here. We all pulled her, not because she is an extremely powerful archer, but because she's freaking Tosakarin from Fate Stay Night. Joking aside, while that was one of my main reasons why I pulled Ishtar 5 times, I wanted her because she is arguably the best farmer as an archer servant. She has a skill set and an AoE buster MP with an overcharge effect that increases her buster performance that cater to maximizing her destructive damage output. Even against non-Saber enemies minus Lancers, she can still deal massive damage that is outright impressive. The fact that she is Tosakarin and that she is a super powerful archer is the reason why she is one of my favorite servants this year. Number 8 is Caster Gil. Caster Gil was one of the art support that I wanted ever since I started playing Fate Grand Order. Now that I have him, servants like Saber Lancelot, Nero Bride, Orion, etc. can perform even better. He can boost your team's art performance, increase their damage output with his charisma skill, and he can turn your mediocre star generators into really decent ones with his incredible first skill. Gameplay aside, I had the privilege to play Babylonia, and after beating it, my respect for Gilgamesh in general has gone up, despite him being an asshole in Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night. In fact, beating Babylonia has made me realize why people love Gilgamesh and the Singularity itself. It has even inspired me to read the actual Epic of Gilgamesh poem, even though FGO's interpretation of Babylonia will not be 100% like it. All in all, I'm glad I pulled him and that I could further boost my arts team. Number 9 is Enkidu. It's everyone's favorite clay boy or clay girl, however you want to see him or her. I don't really know much about Enkidu's backstory because I've never read the Epic of Gilgamesh, but I do know that he is loved by many because of it. All the more reason for me to check out the Epic of Gilgamesh. Anyways, Enkidu has a very odd deck. He sports a triple quick, 1 arts, and 1 buster with a single target buster MP that really makes him inconsistent a lot of times. I've come to enjoy what he offers. He has a unique skill set which includes a mana burst with an additional arts buff or quick buff, an evade skill that eventually gets upgraded with a 5-turn cooldown at max level, and possibly the highest healing skill in the game. I thought he wasn't going to be that great, but his weird deck and his interesting skill set really warmed up to me, and eventually he turned out to be one of my favorites. It's worth noting that doing solo battles with him is extremely fun. Last but not least, we have everyone's favorite Lucha Libre Snake Girl, Quetz. Quetz was the one 5-star rider I've had my eyes on ever since I've heard of Fate Grand Order. Her character design is awesome, her voice actor is great. In my opinion, Quetz is the best rider, even beating out Ozymandias. Ozzy is far superior in terms of support because of his success rate buff skill, but Quetz is a massive offensive critical damage dealer. I've recently done some damage test runs with her, and she can dish out unrealistic amounts of damage with the right setup. So overall, she's my favorite because she's badass looking, her voice is great, and she's everyone's favorite Lucha Libre One-chan, and she is the most powerful rider in the NA server. Some honorable mentions I do want to point out: Jaguar Warrior, Lancer Artoria, and Gorgon. That's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed this list of my personal 10 favorite servants of 2018. If you made it all the way to the end, I truly appreciate you sticking around. It means a lot. Subscribe if you're new and expect more FGO videos in the near future. Thank you everyone. I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.